The time's come to play here in my garden of shadows.
Hello, I'm Runia, aka Media Adaptation, and welcome back to Moderation while Media's for a Game. And it's Friday, so it's time to look at some more international horror. And today we're covering a yokai we mentioned offhand a few times, but I've never actually done a video about her. Sukima Onna, aka the Girl from the Gap. Probably one of the most important ghosts of the genre. When you think about the main ghosts in J-horror, normally your top two are Sadako from The Ring and Kayako from The Grudge. But both of them are modern interpretations of older yokai. Sadako is based off Okiku, aka the girl in the well, who we haven't done a video yet on either. But Kayako is based on Sukima Onna, and they share a similar power set. Onryus, or ghosts, can travel between our world and theirs, called the Mnemonic Abyss, or Shadow World. For our English viewers, think of The Further from the Insidious movies. The gaps and shadows in our world serve as weak points where they can cross over. Almost every modern ghost has this power, but doing so costs a lot of energy, so it's only used sparingly. Kayako, as well as Sukima Onna, have the unique ability to spam this power without consequence, allowing them to always find their victim. In the past, we've seen a few shorts with her in it, and seen her pop up from time to time in a manga. But I didn't know she actually got her own movie, made in 2014, which is self-titled in Japan, but when it was translated over, it's called The Spirit Behind the Door. So, let's take a look at it. We start off with a girl named Koharu, who gets a call from her sister's landlord, inquiring about missing payments. So she meets up with him, and the two enter her apartment, and find every crevice and gap covered in red tape. They then find Kyoko passed out in the bathtub, barely alive, and it'll take her a while before she regains consciousness. So she packs up a few of her things, and finds a camera, which is filming a spot right behind her, where in the crack, a face slowly comes into view. Koharu puts it out of her mind, and returns to her sister, who, after waking up, panics and tries to hide in a storage room. But one of the lockers slowly opens. She grabs some tape and tries to seal it, just as another one behind her starts to open as well. Realizing that she's in a losing situation, she flees to a well-lit area, where her sister finds her. We then cut over to our B-plot, where a father and daughter are moving into an old house, and she finds an old journal of a man obsessing over a woman, before catching a glimpse of her. So that night, she puts out some salt to try and ward off the spirit. We cut back to our sisters, who have had a less than ideal childhood, as their father was very abusive towards them, and Kayako blames her sister for leaving her there. So she eventually ran away and was picked up by an orphanage. That night, she had a dream about all the tape being removed, and wakes up clinging to her sister. She tells her that she went out with some friends, and they wanted to check out a haunted house, which both our girls were dead set against. But our two idiots pull a stunt, and the two come in to see if they're okay, which of course it was just some stupid prank, until they realize that their other friend is gone. They follow his voice and see his hand disappearing into a closet, before seeing Sukima Onna. They fled, but found themselves being hunted down one by one, till it was just her. But back to our B-plot, as a girl wakes up in the middle of the night, and finds her dad missing, and the salt scattered on the floor. She slowly goes room to room, and finally finds him being pulled. She goes to grab him, but gets hit by an empathic shock, as he's taken into the abyss. But back to Koharu, who consults an investigator, and shows him the footage. And not only does he recognize it as Sukima Onna, but it's also the spirit of his late fiancée, who was killed 20 years ago, and they never found the body. So, since she came back as a yokai, it means that their only hope is to try and find her body, which of course is in the house of our B-plot, where he goes to look around, finds the journal as well before seeing her. He assures her that they're there to help her out, as she brushes the side of his face. Kyoko tries her best to stay alive, but as her back's turned, some of the tape peels off. Again, if your seals aren't proper, she can still partially form behind the tape and slowly undo it. Her face straightens when she sees it, and goes to put it back, right as a hand pops out and starts to strangle her. But her sister comes back just in time and separates the two and then replaces the tape. Kaharu tries to call him, but it keeps going to voicemail. So left with no other options, she heads out there that night. She calls him again, only to find his phone left out in front of the closet. She slowly reaches for it, but then hears a sound behind her, and finds her B-plot girl. And now that I think about it, I don't believe they actually gave her a name. She hid herself in an empty closet, which technically worked just like how her sister did in the bathroom. Koharu brings her up to speed, and she tells her that the man who once lived here killed her. And while walking around, she found that the floor layout was off, and there should be an extra room that was boarded up. But just as they figure this out, Sukima Onna pops up behind her, and she pushes her out of the way, but she gets taken instead. Another ghost targets her. While fleeing, she crashes through the fake wall, and finds the dead body in the closet. And after the soul moves on, it catches a blue flame, which spreads to the rest of the house. Our two sisters try to move on with their lives, but just like the problem that pops up with the Kuchisaki Onna, urban legends tend to have a way of spreading out of control, as our girl is now the new Sukima Onna, and starts by finishing the two off. If I had one gripe about this, is that it kind of feels a lot like Ju-on the Grudge. But I guess that's to be expected, as this is the yokai that Kayako was based on. So I guess it makes sense. Even if you don't know about this ghost, it still isn't a bad film. Oh, and yes, if you were wondering, I did find a copy of her manga, and it will be in our next shipment from Japan. As well as more Terror Night, another movie that has her in it, and a new one that has Hechiseki-sama, the 8-foot woman. So look forward to all that whenever it arrives. But after we cover all of our Gap Girls projects, then we can finally work on an Ending Explains video, like we've done with all the others. I should probably also start doing some research on Akiku as well. But that's all we have to say about the movie, so I guess it's time to move on to our mini Let's Play to fill out our arbitrary 50-minute mark. So let us continue with Frio 2, Memories of My Sister. It dropped something, didn't it? Because key to art room. Oh shit! Just kill me already. Can I mash buttons? If I just hit all 9 of them at once, will it work? Oh, there's the crowbar. In case of future reference. A game of trial and error. Art room. Here we go. Chisel. Paintbrush. Old paintbrush. Ambiance. Ha! So I get a rubbing off of something now. Guess start from the top again. Or no. Oh shit! Ah, I see it. I can't even tell if I slit. Okay, a slit-ish thing. Why do you keep talking when I enter this specific room? Doesn't seem to be anything for me to do here. just slap all 9 buttons over and over again, would it work? We have determined without a shadow of a doubt it is not in this building, so we gotta go back to the mall? I believe is what they were calling it. Okay. Not gonna help me on that either, which I still don't know what it means. Oh, chapstick still. Oh, brush on the fingerprint things. That works. I'm an idiot. Playroom key. Six-digit combination, or 5-digit combination. Wonderful. Ambiance. Okay, there's the things I need, though. Okay, the bolt cutters, I guess. Damn! Haha! You can't beat me when I'm a frantic cheater. That's the wire cutters. Bolt cutters. Okay. I will drop the dusting stuff for now. Okay. Oh, it's another math problem. 5, so that's 3 8s. 360, wasn't it? Ha! I don't do math good when I'm being attacked. Okay, percussion instruments. Yeah, I saw the maze on the other thing, so if I find how to open that. Ambiance. So do I need an item to get that? Cutters. Damn. Lady bitch. Lady bitch. I got the item. Take. Yeah. Shit. Yes. Okay. Yes, now look at it. Damn it. No reaction time. And that about does it for this video. If you have any other ideas like Sukima into a video, then please post it down in the comments below, and we'll add it to our next viewer request week.
It's now time for the part of the show where we ask you to help us appease the YouTube algorithm by dropping a like, share, or comment. It helps out much more than you'd think.
And if you haven't subscribed yet, then it's very much appreciated. And if you'd like to support this channel, then please visit our Patreon. Link will be down in the description below. Even if you can't give a lot, every little bit helps. And I guess I'll see you in the next one. Anyway, I'm Runya.
And I'm Ada.
Remind you to take life in moderation.
Weep not, poor children, for life is this way, murdering beauty and passion. Hush now, dear children, it must be this way.